No, it's the negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4228. The quadratic formula. Domain. Domain is basically the x values. It's the numbers that you plug into a function. Well, and the range are the numbers that come out, which are usually represented by y values. Usually there are x and y values, not always. But the numbers you put in are the domain, the numbers that come out are the range. So normally a function is written like something like this: f of x equals 2x minus 1. By the way, this is the same thing as y equals 2x minus 1. These are interchangeable, just a different way of writing it. If you like get into coding, like computers or whatever, they like to use function notation. But basically, if I said, what's f of 3, what does that mean? Okay, it just means what's the function going to be worth when the x value is replaced with a 3. So it would just be 2 times 3 minus 1. Which is 5. So f of 3 is 5. So it's like the x value, the value we plugged in is 3. And the value that came out for the function value is 5, or you could say the y value is 5. So you could think of that as the 0.35. Like this is the x value, this is the y value, right? And sometimes we graphed it. Where's 3,5 at on the graph? I'm talking about like 2 years ago, right? 3 at 5. Okay. Yes, this means write 3 at 5 when we graph it. It doesn't have to be a graph, but okay. What? You guys remember the quadrants on the graph?
Yeah.
Where is quadrant 1? Let's start
right. Top right.
Top right.
Oh.
And then we go
2.
counterclockwise. Yeah, like
Are we gonna
this.
have some graphs this chapter?
Oh yeah.
Please don't do that.
You don't like it.
Yeah, just
Well,
say it.
Just say it. He's like, well.
I would, but I'm being recorded right now.
Rude.
So. Okay. What's this line called right here?
X.
The x what? Axis. This is the y-axis. The point. The point in the middle is origin. What are the coordinates of the origin? 0, 0. Okay, what are the coordinates of point A here? Shh.
-1, 3, -3.
-1, -3. First number tells you where to go on the x-axis, just like a number line. Second number tells you on the y-axis. Okay. You guys remember that all perfectly?
Yeah.
No.
We actually did graphing last year too, so. Yeah, that's most of it. There are a few graphs. Let me,
Yeah, she's gone.
She's like, died.
Turns out she's actually going here. She's just been gone.
Yeah, like she was gone for like ever last year.
Yeah. Not just last year.
And it, skip probably.
I think she was gone for
Yeah. She had a bunch of math to do.
She did
Like,
that
every
with
single
us
day.
too. She wouldn't like be at school.
For history, she was gone. Yeah, she did that with us here.
Wait,
She can do
so they, you know, were you guys?
kids totally.
We had a lot of classes together. Because we never actually saw each other.
Oh,
I do, like in elementary, we were good friends.
no, we have the graph. No.
no,
No, take it away.
You can
Ooh. Haters gonna hate.
I was like, I'm pretty good here. You do it. Exactly.
You get it?
That's what you want, is sending people who are perfect ideas. That's good to learn. Do you want this back?
No, I'm pretty sure I'll fix it. If I don't go fix it after the motion.
I got 4,080. 4,080.
Okay. Number one, you guys there? We're supposed to graph, we're only graphing 1 through 4 though, so don't freak out. These are, they're easy. I just wanted you guys to kind of remember for when we start graphing harder stuff, so you won't freak out too much. Okay. So, number one, where's 2, 3? I'll do it next time, okay? Why do you guys like purples?
I know.
Oh, I
It's
do.
That's our favorite.
Shut.
It's our Mustang's.
Yeah, Mustang spirit.
Okay, anyways,
Hate this school, be honest.
2, 3, where's 1, negative 2? Where's 1, negative 2 at?
Oh, we started.
1, and then go up, negative down.
Right, 1 down 2, and 5, 4.
Where do you think the pizza came from? Italy. That's a scam.
It's fine.
It came from Italy, but tomatoes are from
That ice cream guy,
And
he was so.
here, the New World, the Americas.
Or ice cream guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Italy coffee.
So they're just.
Well, they took the
basically,
they
you
put the
need to-
tomato and
He
then
was so.
So maybe
Oh, I
it's like
remember that.
Tomato,
It's
tomato,
cheesy,
Wow,
but
it's a fun
they
put
anything.
tomato in.
Spaghetti has tomatoes.
But he was
Okay,
so
some
nice
way
about
on the bottom of
sneaking,
that.
you know, like that.
Okay.
Around one day, right? Let me
Um,
see a circle.
on number one,
We're like, we're gonna eat that.
number one, what's the domain?
It's
It's a really great question.
What did I say was the beginning?
the X
domain?
value.
X values. So what are the X values on the number one?
2, 1, and 5.
1, 2, 5. Does the order matter? Not really. Let's put 2 and 5.
You said not really, but that means that it could really mean.
Do you want us to write this
That's
on our
scary.
paper or our
Just
graph?
ask it.
I will let you choose.
No.
Okay.
Choose wisely.
Oh shoot.
What's the range?
3, negative 2, and 4.
3, negative 2, and 4.
Dude, no one except for Roman can mimic the French soldier. With pure accuracy. I need more bullets.
All right. Now, number 3. We did these 2 years ago. Do you guys remember these pictures?
No.
Kind of look like lungs.
Kind of.
Well, basically what that means is that the arrow from 2 to 1 means there's a point 2, 1. Arrow from 2 to 3 means there's a point 2, 3. So there's a 2, 1, a 2, 3, and 5, 1, and 5, 3. You guys see where I got those from? So we're supposed to graph those. 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3. Makes a little rectangle, or square actually. Okay, what is the domain?
2, 5.
2 and 5. What is the range?
1, 3.
1 and 3. Okay. When you have ordered pairs like we're doing all today, they're called relations because it tells you how the x and y are related. some relations. Oh, what was it?
The top one's at 4, not 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I can't count.
Wait.
How could I do this to you? Okay, number 5 says write each relation as the ordered pairs and state whether it's a function. So a function for each x value in the function can only have one y value. That's the definition of a function. Each x value can only have one y value. So what is number 5 written as ordered pairs? 2, -1.
3, -1.
3, -1. What else? 4, 7.
That's like the worst.
Okay, 4, 7. Is it a function? Does each x value only have one y value? That goes with it. Yes. Okay, what would make it not a function?
If you had like,
If you had like 2, 5 or something like that. Okay, this would not be a function because 2 would be going to -1 and positive 5. So since they're all x's are unique to each y, yeah, it's function. Number 7. Okay, they graphed it. What is that leftmost point? What are the coordinates of the leftmost point?
-2.
0, 1.
Other way around.
1, 0.
1, 0. 1 to the right, 0 up. What's going left to right? What's the second point called? In the 2, 1. What's the middle point called? What's its location? 3, 0. What's the fourth point called? 4, 1 and 5, 0.
That's a lot of numbers.
All right, is it a function?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. When you graph a function, if you can draw a vertical line and it only hits the function once, or it only hits the graph once, then it is a function. Okay. So what makes it not a function? Like let's say instead of just 5, 0, if it had like 5, 2, okay, then there'd be a point like right there. So that would make it not a function. It would fail the vertical line test because it would hit the graph twice. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So vertical line test, if it only hits once when you're drawing a vertical line, it is a function. It fails if it hits the graph twice. But yeah, 7, that's not on there, so 7 is a function. So what about 8? Is 8 a function? No, because if you draw a vertical line through x equals 1, it hits twice. All right. Number 9. New directions. Draw a mapping. What do you think a mapping is? Mapping diagram. No,
Oh, it's a circle.
it's a circle. Okay, draw a mapping of each. So, guess what we're going to put in the left circle, or oval, or whatever?
0, 3.
0 and 3. What are we going to put? The domain basically goes over here. What's the range?
4, 1.
4 and 1, and just 0, 4. Looks like that. 3, 1. Looks like that. Easy peasy.
He started it.
And you didn't have to finish it like that, okay?
What if he felt lonely?
Good money.
Well,
Can you finish it better, Hope?
no,
Easy peasy.
no, no.
No, it's already been used. Okay, number 11, this one might fool us a little bit. So we want members of the domain. So let's start on the leftmost point on number 11. What's the x value of that point on the left?
2.
-2. And then if we step to the right, what's the x coordinate of the point there? Yeah, it's 1 to the left, so it's -1. And if we keep going right, what's the next x value for the +1?
Yeah.
And then all the way to the right, how far to the right is that last point? 3. So those are the domains. The range, I guess we'll keep what's the y value of that leftmost point? 2. What's the y value of the next point? 0. Remember, y values are up and down. What's the y value of the third point? 1 up. And what's the y value of the fourth point? Okay, since we have 0 twice, you're not supposed to write it twice, just write it once. Okay, and then we have the point -2, 2, those went together. We had -1, 0, that was the second point. The third point was 1, 1. And the fourth point was 3, 0, right? Should look something like that.
Would you ever go ball?
I might not have an option, but
Dude, you look
Would
like
you
Dr.
like that
Eggman
one
even balls.
Can you go up a little bit? Aren't we supposed to see the function on
oh yeah. Is it a function?
that?
Okay, is 9 a function?
Yes.
Yes. If only one arrow comes from it, it's going to have to be a function. Is 11 a function, or does it pass the vertical line test?
Yes.
Yes, they both are. That means there's probably some no's on the odds or evens. I mean,
All the others,
Wait.
well, not necessarily.
most of them.
Literally Bro.
I hate
I swear it's something, it's a thing.
so much.
Sharon, can you like
Exactly.
stop doing
Okay, 13, longitude and latitude. So which one was the longitude?
Oh, wait, no.
Okay, the way I remember it, I don't know if this will help you guys. Latitude looks kind of like a ladder, like this.
I think that's for dead serious.
Latitude. This is latitude, I promise. Okay, longitude is this one. So on 13, it's kind of like graphing the coordinate system we use. Longitude 100 degrees, that's going like right through Oklahoma. Shh. You guys see longitude 100? It's going right through the middle of the U.S., like Oklahoma and Kansas, Texas. Okay, then it says latitude 30 degrees. Technically, it should say like 30 degrees north, but whatever. Yeah, it meets in Texas, right? So we're supposed to put Texas on that one.
Could put TX?
It's really fun.
Come on, don't be crazy.
It's not that hard.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is for me.
Okay. Hope you guys know your states.
Oh, shit. I didn't know.
I know every
Between the
single
12 of us, we should be able to get number 15. I thought 15 was probably the one you might not know, but longitude 90. Longitude 90 is going through Lake Superior. You guys see that?
That's Michigan. No.
Superior's the big one. So it's, anyways, it's going through the left Great Lake. And then the latitude is 45. So it's meeting on that green state. You guys know which one that is? I don't think I heard anybody say it. Wisconsin.
You're number 14.
I'm guessing you guys.
Minnesota.
It's close to Minnesota. It's not.
Yeah. High school is
in
in
Michigan,
like,
Connecticut. I can't tell.
Minnesota is yellow. Okay.
Is
Anyways,
it the red one or orange?
hey, bro.
And you go sing everyone white, huh?
You just
Pale.
got
Vampire.
longitude 95.
I'm about to.
Oh,
okay.
oh wait, Connecticut.
Number 17. So, what were the quadrants, guys?
I used to go to Pennsylvania.
Double N, SYL, VA, and IA. Okay, what are the quadrants? Which?
That one.
Top right, yes. Okay, number 17. Shh. Which quad? Girls, listen.
Sorry.
Okay, which quadrant has both coordinates positive?
The right one.
Okay, yeah, if you go positive for the x, it goes right. If you go positive for the y, it goes up. So it's quadrant 1.
I'm gonna put 10 dot.
19. The x coordinate is negative and the y coordinate is positive. X coordinate negative, so which way we go in that case? X coordinate negative,
Left.
y coordinate positive.
2.
Hi, said first.
Shut up.
I didn't.
No one thinks they're funny.
Okay, now 20 through 22 they have words abscissa and ordinates. Those are kind of just the fancy way of saying the x coordinates and the y coordinates. Okay, it's because they're not necessarily x and y, they can be like any letters, but anyway, the abscissa just means the x, it's in order, and the ordinates means the y. So where are the x coordinates positive? This is for 21. Where are the x coordinates positive? 1 and 4. You probably, to be honest, you probably won't see those words again.
So I've been learning them.
It's because you're still, I want you to know where the x and y are positive and negative.
Words. Math's so annoying.
Okay, 23, this is where it gets challenging.
Darn it.
Ish. But I'll help you guys a little bit more on these. Okay, what's different from 23 and like number 7? What's different?
It's a line.
Yeah, 23 is a solid line instead of just dot, dot, dot. So the domain is not just a few numbers, it's a continuous set of numbers, right? So here's how it's going to work. The domain is going to be all the x values between what and what. What's the smallest x value? Like if you go to the point, that's all the way on the left over there. It looks kind of like this. Whoops. Looks kind of like that. Yeah, what's the x coordinate for this point? Negative. You can't tell by my graph because I did it. Sloppy Joe. Okay, and then it goes all the way to this point. What's the x coordinate on this point?
2.
Positive 2. So the x values, the domain, would be everything between -2 and 2. How do I write that? How do I express it? Well, in this book, we did it kind of last chapter. -2.
Less than x. Less than 2.
Okay, that's slightly, very so slightly
Then
wrong.
why do you, oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah, what's wrong with that? That should be equal to, because -2 is included. Should this be equal to?
No. 'Cause
No,
it's
I
like
drew it wrong, but this is an open circle, so that 2 is actually not included.
Why do this?
Okay, I'm going to explain something to you because you might have to do this, like if you take a college class, or if you, some other books would write this differently. They would write it as between -2 and 2. They would write it like this for the domain. I actually kind of prefer that way, but this book doesn't do it. So does that make sense? This just means it's from -2 to 2. The bracket means -2 is included, and the parentheses means 2 is not included. Okay, I don't really want you to write that, but if you see it later, I don't, like in if you take college algebra, like next year or something, don't freak out. That's all it means. Okay, the range. So we'll do the same thing. Let's start with the smallest y value. What's the smallest y value down here? Can't really tell in my picture, but
Negative.
it's -2. And what's the, you're gonna have to look at your own picture. What's the largest y value? Can't tell by my picture. 4. So the y values are running from -2 to 4, right? So what am I gonna write? Okay, I used y because we're talking about the y values. I put less than there, why?
Open circle.
Because it's open. That was an unintentional pun. I put or equal to here because that 4 is included. Alright, you guys got it?
Yeah.
Is this a function?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
It passes the vertical line test, right? Anywhere I draw a vertical line, it only hits the graph once. So we need to just put a big fat yes somewhere.
What are you looking at?
This would be so hot.
Yeah.
Have you given out any demerits yet?
1, yeah.
Really? Was it to Gary?
I'm not telling you, but it's just for eating in class.
It was AJ.
Oh, is it?
I can neither confirm nor
Yeah, that was
deny.
definitely AJ.
Yeah.
Say it's AJ.
Say it ain't so.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just got copyrighted. All right.
Can you hit hard on the buzzer? I know that can.
Heck yeah.
Say
Show me proof right now.
Yeah, prove it.
Proof right now.
Who is it?
so then I can say
I can hit Miley Cyrus high notes.
Do it.
Really?
Aww. Get it?
Class thing, you said no.
Yeah.
Get out.
How dare you forget that?
I was laughing at your
You
notes.
weren't.
That made me so mad.
We don't like you anymore. Grant, like you
Okay, shh.
You're a woman, demerit.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, 24. This one's different. Shh. I'm gonna help you with this. All right, here we go. I can draw it. Looks kind of like this. What's different on 24?
There's 2 lines.
And there's
The arrows.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's 1 line.
So that means it's gonna go forever in those directions. Okay, so the domain, we're talking about x values. So when you think x values, we're thinking left and right. So how far left does it go? Forever. Shh, listen. Goes forever to the left, so it goes to negative infinity. Which you can't actually get to infinity, but it goes towards negative infinity. Okay, how far right does it go?
Zero.
0. It doesn't go forever that way. It stops at 0. So it's between, it's from 0 this way, so how am I going to write that? Less than or equal to 0, yeah.
That's the answer.
That's it.
That's one of them.
Okay, that's one of them. You guys want to guess how they write that with the other weird notation that I mentioned earlier?
A box. And then,
Negative infinity, parentheses because it can't get to infinity,
that's
to,
a there.
to 0. That's how they would write it.
Dang.
All right, you don't have to do that. I'm just
Worse,
introducing.
bro.
Shh. Okay. Now the y values, right? What's the lowest y value?
-4.
Negative infinity goes down forever.
Oh.
We're talking about y values. That's down, up and down. Y values go.
Negative infinity.
What's the highest y value?
Infinity.
So altogether, what does that make?
Infinity negatives.
All real numbers.
Oh. Is any of these, is this like all real numbers and 0 gonna be on the test?
Stop asking. Everything's on the test.
Issa, you're not getting
You're
to
just making
put
special
up.
test just for her with every single
I'll
one.
just- I'll just put like 1 through 25 from every homework and make that your test. Okay. Oh, is it a function? I almost forgot. Don't forget to write yes or no on these guys. It's not a function. Why is it not a function?
What if you like?
Why would you say yes?
Fails to verify.
I just want to be different, okay?
Too bad.
Did you guys pass college?
You are
My
different.
what?
Did you guys pass college?
And your
My
English.
dad did.
And your.
What's French?
Asian.
Was he the one that walked out?
I don't know why I'm drawing this.
I wonder if he lived or not.
Okay,
He's probably.
so let's pretend that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm telling you.
Good job, Grant.
Art should be the next class we teach.
Okay, domain. Actually, I'm pretty close to right. I'm a little bit off, but so
What's wrong?
domain is x values. Shh, remember how we did this last time?
Yeah.
What's the smallest x value?
2.
-3. Is -3 included?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's less than or equal to x. What's the largest x value? 3.
Let's go.
And that's included as well.
Are any of them ever gonna be or?
No.
Oh, dude.
You
that's-
look good.
it's so-
They
Because I asked a question.
Yes.
they could be. They could be.
See, you're ugly.
You're right.
You start joining, they're bullying each other.
My dog is on the back of your shirt.
Okay. Range is the y values. What's the lowest y value? You can't tell up here. I didn't draw it right.
Oh.
-4. And that's included. What's the highest y value? 4.
Let's go.
Do you guys remember this from Algebra 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Just barely. You remember like the lungs we drew for
Yes.
I didn't learn about this one.
It's not a that important of a lesson. I will do it once and like never again, but
over 50 years, I've gone progressively worse at math. And I think like that's gonna continue.
okay, is this a function? No, it fails the vertical line test. Well, over the years, math gets harder. That's kind of how it goes.
No. I hate this math.
That's not the
My dog is
Okay,
on the back of your shirt.
on 26, shh, hush. On 26, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to write it down. So, for the range, how far left do you guys think it's going to go?
Infinity.
Yeah, negative infinity. And how far right do you think it's going to go?
Negative infinity. Wait, no, it goes to like.
Yeah.
Okay, it actually, it's going to go past 3.
Oh, darn.
No, it's going to go forever to the right. Even though it's turning, it is still going to go out. It's kind of like parabolas. Remember parabolas, they like go forever out, but they get steeper at the same time. So the x values on 26, it's going to go forever left, forever right. Okay, but the y values, how low does the y values go on 26?
They
Look at
go.
the book.
They go from a number to 0 to
Down forever.
Yeah, that's right.
How high do you think the y value is going to get?
0.
Okay, it's going to approach 0, but it
It's gonna
won't.
go down.
It won't quite get to 0. So 0 is not included.
Bro.
Alright, that's as much help as I'm giving you.
So negative 3/4.
Are you serious or not?
It's kind of like 24. We're kind of close.
Sorry. I can't stop thinking about that means.
How did it take that much?
Bro.
Shh, Grant.
Sorry.